she rap like Left Eye.
So today's video is going to be about Saweetie and Left Eye, because Left Eye's new character is Saweetie. As you guys can see by this side-by-side comparison, they look exactly alike right here. You know, the only difference is that Saweetie is basically just a modern version of Left Eye. If you guys notice, all of the old celebrities have young characters. The deity behind these characters is creating new synthetic vessels, and that's how they're able to play these new characters. You know, they just create this new synthetic vessel, and they infiltrate in a city, and they make friends with all these people. And of course, everybody's gonna think they're a normal person, and then all of a sudden they get famous. So if you met a celebrity before, then that means you met an infiltrator that wasn't a real person. And you can always tell by their energy, you know, they always have like this soulless look in their eyes. And also a lot of celebrities have a very nasty scent because they're not regular humans with a soul. But anyways, that's another topic for another video. In today's video, we're going to focus on all the connections between Saweetie and Left Eye. And if you haven't seen Divine Sade's video about this, the link is in the description below. So after you watch my video, make sure you guys check out her video, because she has a lot of connections in this video as well. But anyways, as you guys can see, Saweetie and Left Eye look exactly alike right here. The thing that gives it away the most with this one is the eyes, because they both have these very big eyes and they really stand out. This one is very easy to see. Their face looks exactly the same right here. And again, the eyes give it away the most with this one. And their hair is very similar right here as well. And a lot of people think that Left Eye was woke and she was trying to help people. So people make these conspiracies saying that the industry killed her because she was speaking the truth. But at the end of the day, what this is showing you is that they're not actually dying. You know, they're faking their deaths, and they're harvesting all of your energy. And all of those people that make those conspiracy videos saying that the industry killed her because she was speaking the truth, you know, all of those people are doing damage control because they're giving a false narrative. Those people are actually defending celebrities, and they're trying to make it seem like they're real. But what I'm showing you guys right here is that none of these people are real. You know, that's why they have multiple characters, and they're deceiving us because they're coming back in our faces with a new character, and 99% of people won't even notice. It's a very disturbing deception that they're doing, because if you really think about it, it's like if somebody you know dies and you see it all over the news. So you get really sad and you think this person's dead. And then 10 years later, this new rapper comes out and they look exactly like them with slight variations to try to throw you off. And they're in your face acting as this new person. But that's the same exact person that you know. But it turns out that that person actually faked their death, and they created this new character. And they get famous again, and they're right in your face again. You know, how would you feel if you knew somebody like that? You would feel very deceived because you never knew that that person was infiltrating and they weren't actually real. So I just wanted to tell you guys that so you guys can get a feeling of what's happening here. You know, just imagine if somebody you knew faked their death like this, and later on you find out that there's this other character that looks exactly like them, and they're famous and they're rapping right in front of your face. You know, it's a really nasty feeling. And all of these deities are evil. You know, they get off on this stuff. They love coming back in our face with this new character, and everybody loves them again. You know, they love harvesting your energy constantly. That's why they create multiple characters. So here's some comparisons of Left Eye and Saweetie. Right here, Left Eye and Saweetie look exactly alike. The only difference is the makeup. But other than that, they look exactly alike right here. And right here, you can see Saweetie with the ponytails. And that was Left Eye's signature hairstyle. So Left Eye and Saweetie have the exact same gematria. Left Eye equals 78 and Saweetie equals 87 in the same cipher. So 87 is just a reverse of 78. And then Left Eye and Saweetie both equal 33 in the same cipher. So not only do they look very, very similar, you know, damn near exactly alike, but their names in gematria have the exact same numbers. Do you guys really think that's a coincidence? You know, there's a lot of people that don't want this to be true because they're really attached to death fakers. You know, death fakers harvest the most energy from people. So that's why they're very important for me to expose. You know, I really hope that you guys detach from all celebrities because none of them are real. Alright, so Saweetie's full name is Diamante Quavo Valentine Harper. And Left Eye's real name is Lisa Lopes. So Lisa Lopes and Saweetie's first name, Diamante, have the exact same gematria. They both equal 36 and 135 in the same ciphers. So not only do their stage names have the exact same gematria in 2 ciphers, but their quote-unquote real names also have the same exact numbers in gematria. The chances of this being a coincidence is like 1 in a million. And on top of that, when you type in Saweetie's full name, including both of her middle names, it equals 135. And Lisa Lopes also is 135. And then Diamante Harper equals 78. And Left Eye equals 78. So Saweetie's first and last name match up with Left Eye's stage name. So this gematria should be enough proof for you guys. But they love doing mockery. They always have to mention their other character in some way, shape, or form. So here's a song from Saweetie where she literally mentions Left Eye in her song, and she compares herself to Left Eye. She's basically admitting she's Left Eye if you really listen closely. So she said, bad little B from the west side, pretty and she rap like Left Eye. If Saweetie on the bill, then the check right. So she's saying she's pretty and she raps like Left Eye, and then she mentions her name right after that. So she's pretty much putting it right in our face that she's Left Eye, because she's basically admitting it in this song right here. And on top of that, when she said west side, she did the west side symbol. Even though they don't do this symbol for the west side, it's actually for symbolic purposes. And on top of that, she's covering her right eye, so her left eye is visible. And her other character is Lisa Left Eye Lopes. And this west side symbol was obviously popularized by Tupac. He did this symbol a lot. And here's another picture of Saweetie doing that same symbol. And the big connection here is that Tupac's younger character is Quavo, right? And Saweetie dated Quavo, and Quavo's other character is Tupac. And right here she's making a reference to Tupac. So that's a big connection right there. And on top of that, Saweetie said that Tupac is the greatest rapper of all time. And Saweetie also said that Tupac makes her feel proud to be a black woman. So that's a major connection because Left Eye and Tupac were very close. According to her, they had a long distance relationship. So the fact that Left Eye's other character, Saweetie, is dating Tupac's other character, which is Quavo, this has to be the biggest connection of them all. They put that one right in our face. Tupac and Left Eye dated with both of their characters. So they love doing mockery with it. And I made a video about Tupac and Quavo, so make sure you guys go check that out. The link is in the description below. And Devon Sade also made a really good video about this. So I recommend both of these videos because we really broke it down. And we showed a lot of connections between them, along with a bunch of other stuff relating to Tupac. So make sure you guys check that out. And right here, Quavo and Tupac look exactly alike. And Saweetie's from California. And Tupac obviously lived in California for a long period of his life. So that's another connection right there. Alright, so now let's get into the drama between Saweetie, Offset, and Quavo. So it says, Offset and Saweetie cheating rumors run rampant after Quavo gets messy on his new song. So basically, Quavo said that Saweetie cheated on him with Offset, right? And that's why Offset is no longer in the Migos. But all of this drama is just fake, it's all planned and scripted because Cardi B dressed up as Left Eye in this music video. And there's been multiple times where she did Left Eye's hairstyles on stage. So clearly she's doing a lot of references to Left Eye, right? And the reason for this is because Cardi B is dating Offset, and Saweetie, which is Left Eye's other character, cheated on Quavo with Offset. Everything about this connects, and this really shows that none of this is real. Their relationships are not real. They just make all of this drama to get people talking, but at the end of the day, none of it is actually real. And also notice how all of this drama between Saweetie, Quavo, and Offset is happening in October, right? And October has the same exact gematria as Saweetie and Left Eye. So that explains why all of this drama is happening in October. This really shows how scripted all of this is. So let's get into some more connections between Saweetie and Left Eye. So Saweetie's whole thing is Icy Girl, and she has an album called Icy and a song called Icy Chain and this other song called Icy Girl. So obviously her whole thing is icy and snow and frozen stuff, right? So the big connection here is that Lisa Lopes named her daughter Snow Lopes. So that snow reference is similar to Saweetie's icy references. So that's a big connection right there. And here we got Saweetie doing one eye symbolism, and she's covering her left eye right here. And here we got Left Eye doing one eye symbolism, but she's covering her right eye. And I talked about this in my Lil Durk one eye symbolism video. The link to that video is in the description below. I recommend you guys check it out if you haven't, because I really broke down the reason why they do this one eye symbolism. And I brought up left eye in that video because her name is literally left eye. You know, it's one eye symbolism in her name. And then right here, she's covering one eye again. And here's some pictures of Saweetie that I wanted to show you guys because she looks exactly like Lisa Left Eye right here. You know, their eyes are exactly the same, man. It's really creepy. And Left Eye has this cross tatted on her arm. And like I always say, the cross symbolizes death and a bunch of other things as well. But I noticed that a lot of death fakers have a cross tattooed on them. And crosses really symbolize death in many ways. I made an entire video about it called Think Outside the Box. And it's a really old video, but I recommend you guys check it out. You know, I broke down the cross symbolism a lot in that video. And also cross and death have the same gematria. But anyways, moving along. As you guys can see, this looks a lot like Lisa Left Eye right here. And in this picture right here, her hair looks like a cross as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because I don't think anybody can deny the fact that she looks exactly like Left Eye right here. And here she is doing symbolism in plain sight. And right here, Left Eye is doing symbolism with her fingers. And this is symbolism as well. You know, she has one hand facing up and one hand facing down. And this symbolizes as above, so below. And also keep in mind that Left Eye and Saweetie are very masculine characters. You know, this clearly looks like a man. And they symbolize it a lot. Right here, her hair is very short and she looks like a man. And she's doing symbolism with her hand right there. But yeah, this is clearly a man. If you guys can't see that this is a man, I don't know what to tell you. Even though all celebrities are both genders. And then right here, Saweetie has pink, white, and blue symbolism. And as we all know, the T flag colors are pink, white, and blue. And here's some more pictures of Left Eye, and she looks like a man once again. And here's a very strange tattoo that she has on her arm. It looks like a black bird, which is very symbolic. And this 8 is very symbolic as well, because the number 8 symbolizes infinity. That's why the number 8 and the infinity symbol look very similar. And I found this article that says, rapper Saweetie thinks you're crazy if you don't wear a mask. Saweetie says the fact that some people's priority is to stop wearing masks shows you that a lot of work needs to be done. So she's basically trying to program people to wear a mask. And I talked about this multiple times. I would not recommend wearing a mask because, first of all, it's not going to protect you from anything. And on top of that, if you're wearing a mask, you won't be able to breathe in oxygen, which means you'll be breathing in your own carbon dioxide. And you can actually get very sick and die from that. So if you ask me, I would not wear a mask, because wearing a mask will kill you faster than this fake disease that they're saying is going around. But anyways, moving along, here we got Left Eye doing one eye symbolism, and she's wearing a very strange hat. And if you look closely, it says eclipse on it right here. These deities really study the stars a lot. You know, they're very big on astronomy and astrology. So they study the sky a lot, and they do rituals based upon eclipses and a bunch of other stuff. So notice how Left Eye equals 33, just like Saweetie, eclipse, and masonry all equal 33 in the same cipher. So that's why she has this eclipse hat on right here. You know, they do a lot of rituals connected to solar eclipses. So that's a big connection right there. And here we got Left Eye, and she looks like a witch right here with this hat. But notice how she's wearing this black and red skull on her arm. And I talked about the skull and bones in my recent video. And I didn't even notice this until I zoomed in, but she's doing the horns right here. You know, it's crazy how they do this symbolism on the low, and you wouldn't even notice unless you zoomed in. Alright, so now let's get into the gematria, because Left Eye's death was very scripted. You know, her name, Lisa, matches up with dead. They both equal 14 in the same cipher. And then Left Eye equals 111 in the same cipher as 666 and Deadly. And Left Eye and Deadly both equal 30 as well. And then Lopes equals 22, Died equals 22, and Crashed equals 22, all in the same cipher. And apparently Lisa Left Eye Lopes died in a car crash. So that would explain why her last name matches up with Crash right here. And Lopes equals 23, and Died equals 23 in the same cipher as well. And this reminds me of Tupac because even though Tupac didn't die from a car crash, his last picture was him sitting inside his car. So it's interesting that he dated Left Eye, and Left Eye also died in her car. So both of these characters died in their car. And Left Eye's death was a big Coca-Cola advertisement because in the last video of her driving this car, before she crashed, she showed this Coca-Cola wallet to the camera. And this is obviously a clear advertisement for Coca-Cola. You know, so they got a big advertisement for this video because this was Left Eye's last video alive. And if I can show it, I'll show you guys the video right now of Left Eye crashing. So hopefully they don't copyright me for that. But everything they do is scripted because the reason why she showed this Coca-Cola wallet is because Coca-Cola matches up with killed. So she shows this Coca-Cola wallet and then gets killed shortly after. You know, that shows how scripted this was. So Coca-Cola equals 53 in the same cipher as killed. And then they both equal 26 in the same cipher as well. And then Coca matches up with died, car, death hoax, crash, and dead, and Lopes. And Cola matches up with died, Lopes, car, Nicole, and Lisa. And Nicole is Lisa Left Eye's middle name. And Saweetie is obviously Left Eye's main character that she plays on the world stage. But she also has this low-key character. And this other character is called Pink Bee. And this is obviously her, you know, they look exactly alike. And she basically admitted it in this caption right here. She said if Left Eye was still alive. So this is obviously one of Left Eye's other characters. But I don't really care about this character because she's super irrelevant nowadays. So it's more important to talk about how Left Eye is Saweetie. You know, that's why I mainly focused on that. So something I want to point out. Tupac and Left Eye were dating before Tupac died. And Left Eye painted this picture of Tupac. And right here it says, this is a painting that Lisa created for Tupac in 1992. A letter she wrote on the back says that 10 years from then they'd be together. Lisa died in a car accident in 2002. So this was mockery right here, you know. She knew that her and Tupac were going to fake their death. That's why she did this, you know. It's not a coincidence that she said 10 years from 1992 they would be together. And she ends up dying 10 years after 1992. And here's an interview where she talks about how she met Tupac. And you guys can read it if you want. But the main thing I want to point out with this story, because the story itself is kind of irrelevant, you know, it doesn't really matter. But one thing I did notice, a key detail, you know, the devil is always in the details. So right here at the bottom, she said, I just wanted to meet him, you know, so we met over the phone and that's basically it. We just had a long distance relationship. We talked a lot. You know, he was in California at the time and I was living in Atlanta. So that's a big connection right there because Quavo is from Atlanta and Left Eye was living there during this time. So this is a big connection because Left Eye was living in Atlanta when she was dating Tupac, and Tupac's other character is Quavo and he's from Atlanta. So that's a very interesting connection. And even though their relationship was long distance, Left Eye did say that they hung out 3 times before he died. And then right here she says that her favorite Tupac song is I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto. And that's very ironic because this song is about heaven and Left Eye and Tupac ended up dying. And they also have this song together right here. So yeah, the fact that Left Eye dated Tupac and Saweetie dated Quavo really shows how obvious this one is. You know, they put it right in our face with that. And now I'm going to play some videos of Saweetie talking about how much she loves Tupac. And it makes perfect sense because her other character, Left Eye, dated Tupac. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys drop a like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description below. So here's some videos of Saweetie and Left Eye talking about Tupac. And notice how they both talk about him in the same exact way.
For inspiration, I'm saying Tupac. My mom, my dad would play him almost every day, morning, afternoon, and night. I'm from the West Coast, so I gotta say Tupac, cause you know my mama had him when she was young, and she's a real hustler, and my dad is too. And they never showed me no pain, but I know when they would play certain Tupac songs, they was trying to get through a bad day. So it was like, when you can give music that's more than just turn up music, but it's therapy for the body and the soul and the mind, I feel like that's a different type of artist. So definitely Tupac. And then I love Tupac. So I was inspired to create an acronym for like how he did for Thug Life. Because, you know, I say a lot of my music.
So what would you say is one message from Nipsey Hussle that you carry on in your everyday life that still inspires you?
I really just like everything about him. I feel like he embodies the West Coast. If the West Coast had a definition next to it, it'd be Tupac and them. Tupac, Ambitions of a Rider. This is one of my favorite, most probably like my 10 top favorite songs ever, Ambitions of a Rider, like Tupac. First of all, I just love him. My mom, my dad grew up listening to him, but the song is so timeless to me. It always just feels like, it always feels brand new when I play it. It just makes me feel like I can go out into the world and accomplish anything that I want to accomplish. And you could just hear it when he be like, my ambitions as a rider, like that, and when you hear my songs, you know I make that sound a couple times. So I love the emotion and the inspiration that it feeds me. And then love Tupac. His birthday just passed, so I kind of wanted to do what he did with Thug Life and make it into an acronym. So for me, it means boss, it means independent, it means tough, it means CEO, and it means hyphy. And if you're from the Bay, you know hyphy means turns up, it means a good time.
Tupac, what did he mean to me? It was a little weird being in the presence of Tupac, and we're very similar. Similar to the point where we almost clashed. Both Geminis, and it was almost like 4 people being in a room. You know, and I don't know if this has any significance, but I was born on an odd day, the 27th, and he was born on the 16th, which equals to 7 and 9 day, and we were odd. It was very odd when we were together. I got a chance to go to his house a few months before he passed on, and it was weird. It was a very weird experience because everything that was in my cabinets was in his cabinets. It's down to the seasonings in the kitchen, you know, the types of food that we ate, the pot set, the chairs that we sat in. I look at the way his life was, and I don't know, I see a lot of that in me. It was really neat to look at the way he wrote it down, not only, you know, what he was saying, but how it was written. You know, and a lot of the words he substituted with little symbols, like the eyeball for the word eyes. Man after my own heart. Where do I start? Let's see, I think that he had a purpose to serve during his time here.
Did we actually lose Tupac?
Tupac gave me lots of advice. The most important advice he gave me was to be 100% real. He said that if I was real with somebody and if they couldn't accept it, then it was better to be respected for being real than, you know, to try to lie, because to pacify someone else's feelings. So I appreciated that from him, and I followed his advice, and a lot of people cannot handle someone being 100% real. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think a lot of people could not handle Tupac. Because he was about as real as they come, and it's like when you get that real, it almost seems like it's game. But that's the best advice he gave me. Since Tupac has passed, I have changed, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's because he passed. I've realized things since he passed, like, you know, really thinking about death and what is it, and you know, why do people mourn it? Why is it supposed to be such a painful experience? Why is it something that is like it signifies the end, when what I believe is it is not the end? When Tupac passed, I realized there were a lot of selfish people in this world. That's what I realized. Everyone didn't want him to leave here for their own selfish reasons. And as soon as I realized that that's what it was that had me about to go cuckoo, you know, I was able to let go and say if he really wanted to stay here, he would have pulled through. But it was his choice and his decision, and obviously there's life after death. So I guess he decided to move on, and I'm 100% with any decision that he would have made, you know. So that's what I... Yeah, it did feel real recording that song with him, and there were a lot of lyrics that were on the track that you guys don't hear, because I didn't put them on the track, and some of the stuff he said was just spooky. I mean, it was like, how could you say these things and it sounds like you said them today? You know, they were just spooky. When I come back, expect me to come back like Jesus. Some things I can't even put on the album.
Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me. I'm coming.